Hello and welcome to LIPA Come Together podcast. My name's Cherise Weaver and I'm the Head of Equality, Diversity and Inclusion at the Liverpool Institute for Performing Arts, or as it's better known, LIPA. If you're not familiar with LIPA, we are a world-leading provider of university-level performing and creative arts training, an international community of creators, performers, technicians, filmmakers and business people who learn by working together on fully realised projects and productions. During this series of podcasts, we'll be celebrating the creative work and cultural scene in Liverpool and here in LIPA. We'll be chatting to cultural organisations and leaders, artists and performers as we consider how art can make a difference to all of our lives.
Hello and welcome to LIPA Come Together podcast. You've just listened to our official welcome, but I'm going to introduce myself now because I am your guest host for today. My name's Siobhán, I'm the venue manager here at LIPA. And the reason that Cherise is not hosting today is because she is our very special guest. Welcome, Cherise.
Woo woo! Hi. Very strange being on the other side.
This is strange, isn't it? It's because you have all these people on and you will share tidbits of your life in how it might relate to the stories that they're talking about. But we don't know all about you. So today is all about you. I wanted to sing this, but I don't want to create a rights issue. But It's all about you, Ms. Weaver. And as you know, the format of the podcast is that we're going to hit you with some quick fire questions. And just to make it doubly tense for you, you have no knowledge of what the quick fire questions are because they're going to be quick fire. So
anyway,
let's go with this one first. Cherise, the biopic of your life. Who is playing you and what is your story called?
Oh my God, who would be playing me?
And you can have anybody from like history of acting, like we'll just AI them into the right age for now.
So I've always thought I would play Josephine Baker.
Do you know what? Because you're a dancer person, and I was thinking, would she say Josephine Baker? Would Josephine Baker play you?
I think so.
Yeah?
Possibly.
And what would the story of your biopic be?
The story of my biopic would be actor, dancer, activist, even though I didn't really know I was, but I kind of am because I just fall into that category.
Change maker.
Yeah, change maker. Just trying to create opportunities really everywhere I can. Yeah, definitely.
It's a long title. We'll come back to that one and work it down.
Yeah.
That's the working title.
Yes.
Okay, another question for you is you're throwing a dinner party and you can have 3 guests from fiction, from history, or from contemporary days. Who are you going to have?
I do feel emotional when I say this, but the first person is always going to be Prince. It's always going to be Prince. In fact, I seen him recently doing, it was a clip of, I think it was a host, and he was ending his show and they brought Prince on for his finale. And I was like, oh, that's just heaven. So definitely Prince, possibly Jamiroquai. But I did get to see him recently and I got so emotional because that, again, was like 30 years of just amazing music, amazing talent. And it would be probably Josephine Baker as well, I'm not going to lie. So actually, it would be maybe Oprah or Michelle Obama.
Oh, they're good picks.
Possibly Tyler Perry, maybe. No, sorry, Spike Lee. It would be Prince, Spike.
Well, you're doing the cooking, so you can have as many people as you want, really.
Oh, no, I would not. I'd be getting a chef in.
Oh, get a chef
Definitely,
in, yeah.
And it would possibly be my partner, because he's an amazing cook, just saying.
You couldn't go to a dinner party like that and leave him behind, because he'd be, like, calling you all sorts, wouldn't he? You'd want to come to.
I think he'd want to pick who the guests were, or at least one of the guests. I might let him pick one. But 3 is not enough. No, it's not enough. I need more than 3. But Prince is definitely the top, always. Top. Yeah.
A dinner a day, maybe. And finally, quick fire. What motivates Cherise Weaver? When you get up in the morning, what gets you out of bed with a hop, skip and jump?
what I am able to do in the world and create, and totally not have a clue about what my day is actually going to be. But I know that I work with amazing creatives, amazing minds, amazing people, from musicians to actors to academics. The amount of people that I come across on a daily basis is just phenomenal. And they're all amazing in their area. And a lot of it is happenstance. I just get up and I'm like, okay, I've got these things to do today, but it's the things that happen in between. You know, when people talk about silent moments, because I actually don't know how the day is going to pan out or end. I'll have a list of things that I've got to get through, work things, whatever it may be. But it's the things and the conversations that happen in between and what they lead to. You know, I like to start my day with exercise if I can, if I've got time. And that is kind of what just gives me that moment to kind of just get myself ready for what's to come. But yeah, I think I'm motivated by people.
Yeah.
And creatives.
I get that about you, because you've just mentioned the title of your biography would include a reference to acting and dance. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that part of your history? Because we know you as our head of EDI. We know you run the Black Actors Collective and a co-founder with the lovely Paisley Reed.
Yes.
But your acting and dance, do you get a chance to do much of that? And what have you done in the past?
Wow. Okay. So starting from the beginning, I did start off in the dancing world. That was I call it my first love. I did want to be like the first black ballerina, but I didn't have the background really to pursue that in the way I would have liked to, because I came from a single parent family, lots of love, lots of amazing memories growing up. However, we didn't have that kind of we just weren't really in that world and didn't have that kind of financial support. However,
to take the classes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was very ambitious from very, very young. So I would always find somewhere. So my thing was I'd always get up and do like a dance for family and stuff like that. And also I had a teacher called Anne Maloney, who I love to talk about as well, who, when I was really young in primary school, I went to a local primary school called Windsor Street School, which is still going now. It's not actually far from LIPA. It's a stone's throw.
Yeah.
And they do great things in that building as well, because there's an old building and there's a newer building, and the old building now has got lots of creatives in it. Go figure. But anyway, Anne Maloney used to say to me, come on, Cherise, get on the stage and give us a sing and dance. I didn't realise that what my teacher was actually doing was instilling that kind of confidence in me. So that was kind of part of the start of it. And then I went on to boarding school, Glenallen Boarding School in Wales, which I absolutely loved. We had our own farm. Sounds really posh, but it wasn't. It was run by the LEA. We had 2 swimming pools, indoor and outdoor. The outdoor swimming pool was always, it had a big crack right through the middle, so it was never in action. But yeah, I think I got really creative when I was there, because our PE teacher was very good at giving us the opportunity to put dance routines together and things like that. And we also had a couple of dance groups. I could shout out a few names and stuff, but I don't want to embarrass people. But that was a time of, again, Prince, Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson. I mean, I was a massive Madonna fan. I was a little bit obsessed, if I'm honest. But that was, the 80s was just an amazing time for music, and an amazing time, I think, to be a teenager.
Yeah. And you would so you were at boarding school from 11 till 16?
Yes, yeah.
And you loved it, and which I always think of people at boarding schools as being like the future monarchs and prime ministers, and it surprised me about you.
Yeah, I think everyone is always surprised when I say I went to boarding school. I see people kind of look at me as if to say, really? And I'm like, yeah, but it wasn't. It was, so the boarding school was attached. The grounds was also part of Columendy camps, where a lot of Liverpool school kids go to. So it was kind of just a little bit of an extension of that,
I've
that
always
makes
feel
sense.
like I will never be properly Scouse, no matter how long I live here, because I've never went to Columendy as a kid.
Yeah, well, we can probably still make that
Send me
happen
there.
as an adult, to be fair. And one thing I will say, and I'm putting it out there, is I've always wanted to open it up as a gifted and talented, because it ended up getting turned into an outdoor pursuit centre. I think it's either being sold on again. I know it's closed down again, so I'm not sure what. It's in transition. But putting it out there, Stephen Graham, if you're listening, Idris Elba, sorry, I might invite Idris to the meal, by the way.
Okay.
Just putting that out there as well. But Stormzy as well, yeah, I'm giving all the shouts out. But if you really want to back something, this is something I want to do. And also that guy off the Dragon's Den, what's his name? The young guy? The young entrepreneur.
Stephen
Bartlett as well, if you're listening. But I've got more to say for you, Stephen, for me businesses and stuff. But it is a dream of mine to open Glenallen as a school for the gifted and talented. Because I think working at LIPA has been amazing, and coming through that kind of, because that's been my journey as being creativity and education. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But knowing what that does for young people and how that builds confidence and instills so many amazing extra skills, as well as being a creative, but there's so much more that goes into it. The people that aren't in that world wouldn't really be privy to. But being able to create that and do it as a boarding school is then just so much more. So yeah, just putting it out there. So if anybody's listening that wants to back that or invest, it's something I would absolutely love to do.
But not that you've not got loads of things on your plate at the moment anyway. How you're collecting businesses, like I collect shoes. So tell us a bit about some of the other things that you've got going on at the moment, because we've mentioned Black Actors Collective. We're in October at the moment.
Yeah.
And you've got a very exciting project that's partially happened. The launch night's happened over the Everyman, but what can people still see if they go over to the Everyman now?
Right, so people can still see the exhibition of the Black Actors Collective, which has been 3 years in the making, which started when I first came into this role as Head of Equality, now Equity, Diversity and Inclusivity. Another actress contacted me called Paisley Reid, a local actress who I've worked with since she was a nipper. And I've also taught her, but I've also worked with her as an actress, and I've played her mum. She's played my daughter. She was on The Worst Witch. She's doing loads of amazing things at the minute. She's also working for 20 Stories High. She approached me and she said, I've been to see an amazing piece of work by another business partner of mine now, Brodie Arthur, called, I think it was Family Healing. And, you know, I am fed up with this narrative that there are no black actors in Liverpool. We really need to do something about it. And I was kind of like, oh, okay. And then I was thinking of my journey as an actress, which I know you was asking me about earlier. So I'll just go back to that question.
Go back to that.
Yeah. So, as I say, my career kind of started off within the dance world. So when I left boarding school, I then went on to Sandown Community College, Greenbank. It's got a couple of different names. It was known as Scopa, Sandown Community College.
Where, am I right in thinking LIPA Sixth Form's former principal?
Yes, Charles Bartholomew was actually my drama teacher, and an amazing drama teacher he actually was. So shout out to Charles. And I went to the college, and I went there thinking I was going to do a diploma in dance. And I think I auditioned for dance and drama. And I did 1 year a proprietary course where you get to try everything. By the end of that 1 year, I'd caught the acting bug, and I absolutely loved it. And that's how I ended up then going into the acting world with another colleague. Well, would I call her a colleague? Would I call her a close friend who I happened to see this weekend, Emma Bispham. Another shout out, who is an ex-LIPA student as well,
Very much, yeah.
as you know. So I ended up doing the diploma in drama, which I absolutely loved, and we did the Caucasian Chalk Circle, one of my favourite plays, where I got to play Natalia Abashvili. We did a panto at the now Epstein, which was then the Neptune Theatre. I've still got pictures from that. Did we do Romeo and Juliet? No, we did. I think we did the Oresteia, and I played like the priestess, and I still remember the lines now. I'm not going to go into it. But had an amazing time at that college, and we used to call it the Fame College because at the time it was the only performing arts college in Liverpool.
Yeah.
And there's lots of kids from that area now, obviously adults that are in industry, including Mr. Stephen Graham. Just putting that out there.
What's he doing now? You hardly ever hear of him.
I don't know. I really don't know.
The man at the moment.
A little whisper was that somebody's just won an Emmy, but hey.
Boatload, yeah.
So there was a whole group of actors, including Christine Tremarco as well. She didn't go to the college, but she was part of that era. And it's funny because we all came up together and we're all still in the arts in different ways, and some still, actors and right at the forefront. I can't even speak now, right at the forefront. But some, like myself, have kind of took a step out of the arena to do a lot of the things that I'm doing now, which I'll jump to in a minute. So, just from doing the course at Sandown Community College, I fell pregnant in my final year, and I kind of knew when we were doing our final panto at the Neptune that something was a bit different. But I thought I need to do this panto, and then I will see what's going on. And then I found out, I was pregnant. However, I still pursued my career as an actress, and I went on to be in a TV drama called Liverpool One.
Remember it? Yeah.
Samantha Janners and Mark Womack with L1 Productions. At the time, it was an amazing opportunity. Again, had an amazing time with the cast, with the crew. Still have great relationships with Colin McEwen and his team. And then I went on to do a lot of theatre. Worked in most of the theatres in Liverpool. Did a lot of theatre and education, travelling all around the country. I also work with a company called Afterthought, who are a consultancy company, who I still work with now, but in a different capacity, funnily enough.
They deliver the training that lots of people at Liverpool have done, where they actually create scenarios in front of you.
That's right. Doing a lot of things around unconscious bias, bullying in the workplace. They look at lots of different areas of training, which is quite impactful because it's quite instant as well.
Yeah.
It's been a variety of different shows and stuff. I worked a lot with the museum as well, doing plays about abolitionists. I also worked with the Everyman, the Playhouse, the Unity. It's funny because I've gone to events and literally, I remember when I worked for University of Liverpool being invited to an event, and every organisation that turned up had worked with me at some point. And it was a lovely thing because I'd had a really nice experience with all of these organisations, and it was like, oh wow, I didn't realise how many different organisations I've really worked with over the years, because for me, I kind of do a piece of work and then it's on to the next. Yeah. I don't tend to really look back at what I've done, so that's why it's a bit weird for me to be on the other side of the microphone today.
You're coping very well.
Well, I'm always looking at what other people are doing in terms of, interested in people's stories. And I think that's also why, as an actress, I know that telling stories is so powerful. And sharing stories is so powerful. And it can impact people, on many, many levels. But what I've realised is through my own journey, actually stepping a little bit out of the arena and giving other people the opportunity to do that, and not having to deal with some of the trials and tribulations that I've dealt with as an actress, is a lot more powerful in terms of them opportunities being created that weren't created when I was kind of coming through. the doors and stuff like that. But I do have a saying, and it is about taking people with me, but people that have earned the stripes, and it not just being everyone and anyone.
And not a tick box exercise, all of that kind of thing.
Definitely not. I feel like people need to have done the work, and and are committed and are hardworking and have got all the right attributes, because having a talent is great, but there's so many other things that you need to have to really continue on the journey, and that's just speaking from experience, really. I just know that half the battle is turning up, even with auditions and stuff in the past, because people get to know you as that person that turns up on time.
Yep.
That person that is turns up, but they also turn up ready. And that was one thing I will say that Charles taught us in drama school, is when you come in the door, you leave everything behind. You are there to work. So yeah, it's been a great journey, and it continues to be a great journey. So on to where I'm at now with obviously being at LIPA for 3 years, going into the 4th year. And that has been a journey, but a really colourful journey, because things like the podcast, this is one of the first things that I kind of put in place, with the help of people like Keith from the farm.
Keith Mullen.
The
famous Keith Mullen.
Yeah, the famous Keith Mullen. He was one of the first people I had a meeting with. Just going to have a sip of water. And I was kind of like, well, the facilities are here, the resources is here. We need to just, make this happen. And what's great is what's happening today. We have staff takeover. So obviously Siobhán's hosting today. We have student takeovers. So everyone gets to get involved in some way, shape or form, which is great. So yeah, working at LIPA has just been, a complete experience, because there's so many things that happen, and it's just constant. It's just
one of the things I thought about as a quick fire question, and I thought actually there's possibly a lot more in this than just doing it quick fire. What is different about LIPA than you expected, having come from being outside the organisation to working within it?
So for me, because I'm from the creative world, and I have been to several universities as a student and also as a member of staff. Yeah. I really know and feel the difference when you are in an arts institution to when you're just in a, if you want to call it normal, or a more academic institution. Yeah. And I will say this, the first day that I actually started in LIPA, and there was a lovely member of staff, Eva.
Friend of podcast,
but actually not even Eva, Eve in HR is who I was thinking of. Lovely Eve.
Yes.
She took me around the building and showed me around. However, I had already previously done a talk here 4 or 5 years previous. Yeah. Ben Leventhal, who's head of WP, got in touch. I don't know how he found out about me or he knew about me, but he wanted me to do a talk about being an actress, but also taking the academic route as well.
Because you've done undergrad and postgraduate studies.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, as well as acting and being a single mum, just saying. And she took me to some of the dance studios, the classrooms, and it was summer, so there was no students here. And I literally just felt like I'd come home, because even without the students in the building, I just felt the atmosphere. It's in the walls. It's in the, it just breathes and it exudes the arts. Cut to, I think it was maybe a week or a few days later, I came in and I could hear this amazing singing, and I was like, who's in the building? It was the kids from Fame. That's what I grew up on. That's what really inspired me to continue with. The first album I got, my sister bought me, Angela. Was it my 12th birthday, or I don't even know if I was that old. No, I don't think I was that old. I think I was younger, maybe not, I can't remember. But she took me to a record store and said, pick what you want, and she got me the Fame album. Oh my God, I mean, the kids from Fame were in LIPA. It was like all my dreams coming together all at once. Anyway.
What are they doing here?
They were rehearsing for the show that they had, and I went up there actually, and Bruno, I mean, I know that's a stage name, but Bruno and Dorothy both actually came out of the room, and they do this thing where they kind of put their hand on your shoulder when they speak to you, as if to say, I'm present with you, and I was just like, wow, and they were just talking to me like they've known me forever. And then I went back in there, and then Bruno was like, let's get a picture together, and like stop the whole rehearsal. And I was like, this is just, I couldn't, it was like I was in a dream, literally.
And you probably wondered if it was like that every day at LIPA, and quite often it is, isn't it?
Yeah,
you
it
can
actually
just meet some amazing people.
I mean, we have just had Bruce Springsteen in here, and it was lovely to see Sir Paul McCartney as well.
Oh, your mate,
both
Paul.
of them. Yeah. Oh, Paul. Anyway, just putting that out there. But yeah, it's the only word that I can use is it's magical. It really is. There's something magic that happens when you are in a creative performing arts space.
Yeah.
Even if the people aren't in the space, it just holds this. That's the only way I can describe it. Is it's like there's just stardust all over the, you know.
I think I've having worked like operationally in a lot of theatres and been like a key holder for a lot of theatres. I think a lot of theatres are like that. Like when you go around after the audience has left and lock up, it's almost, maybe it's just tinnitus, but it feels like the whole building's ringing with what's been going on inside on the stage, and that feeling of joy that people watching what's on the stage experience. It like lives in the walls.
And that is what I love about the arts, because what I realised is that when I was on set, that's what I love, is the camaraderie. So for me, you know, it's great being on stage, it's great being in front of the camera, all of that. But actually, it's that thing of just walking on set for the first day. You know, I did a TV series, I think it went to Netflix, with Christine Tremarco, called The Window. Still haven't seen it. That's another thing I don't really like to watch myself.
You don't like, do you read your reviews, or do you just steer clear of everything once you've done it?
Some stuff I have, but to be fair, I don't know. I don't know why it's difficult to. I think what it is as artists, we're our own worst critic.
Yeah.
So we're always looking, thinking, I could have done that.
Go back and do it differently next time.
Yeah.
When you can't.
Yeah, definitely. And I remember going onto set, and, you know, I love that thing where you've got your trailer with your name on it and all of that, or your Winnebago, depends on what part of the world you're from. But, and then I seen Christine, and we were like, oh, because we hadn't seen each other for ages. And this is the thing, you will keep crossing the same kinds of actors and people, and you know, there's magic in that.
So Christine Tremarco played the mum in Adolescence.
Yes.
And has been the guest on our International Women's Day stage.
Yeah.
And
we will be getting her on the podcast, just saying. She'll probably be my next guest. So Christine, if you are listening, I'm penciling you in.
Oh, and she was lovely. She came in the bar and she like bought everyone a drink.
I heard she bought the cleaners, a bottle, not just a drink, a bottle. I just, you know, and you know, the story continues of Christine Tremarco in the building, and you know, but she was an amazing guest, and she has said she will come on the podcast, but as we know, she's very busy at the moment. Anyway, but yet there's magic in being around them people, whether it's crew, whether it's cast, there's just something in it. And this is what I take from it, because I've done a lot of commercials and adverts. That was my bread and butter for a long time. So another shout out to my agent as well, Alan, if you're listening, thank you. And he keeps sending me a lot of stuff at the minute, but he knows that I'm just full to capacity with all the other things that I'm doing. But yeah, it's the people that make it. It's, you know, and the biggest thing for me and the biggest takeaway is that everyone is there because they want to be there.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not just work, it's passion, it's love, and that's what comes through. Yeah, you know, you've got to do certain things, you know, certain daylight and time and all of that, because time is money and all of that. But actually, when something works and the magic is there, you just know it's there. You know, I always love it when you see the outtakes on stuff, because to me, that's sometimes the best part.
Yeah.
You know, because
peeking behind the curtain.
Yeah, exactly. I
was just walking along the road on the way in today, and I bumped into Kerry Ankara Lucas. and who's graduated, founder of Decks in the City, master's students now enrolled on our music management course. And I said, what are you up to? She said, I'm going to work. Well, I'm not. It's not work. I was like, it's because we love it.
Yes.
It's not work when you love it.
Absolutely. So talking about work and talking about Kerry, and I've just been to another exhibition by the same person that has also done the exhibition for the Black Actors Collective. So there's another exhibition on at the moment at the VGM, which is the museum that is the Victoria Gallery. That's part of University of Liverpool. And that is all, it's called Harlem something. And some of the pictures were taken here at LIPA. And it's people like the Chants, the Christians, Sugar Dean, and it's all of the Black musical legends. And I'm hoping as well to bring them into LIPA to actually do something, whether it's performing or speaking to them about their journey on the back of this amazing... there's a short film that's been done along with the exhibition. So, and we'll just work backwards to the exhibition that I've just done as part of. So I am the co-founder with Paisley Reid for the Black Actors Collective. So the conversation that Paisley and I had, that's what came out of it, which has been running now for 3 years. The collective come into LIPA weekly now. It used to be fortnightly to hone their craft. We have different experts coming in doing workshops with them. And what we did when they first came in, we got Ian Flanders again to do some headshots, which were great. But because it's 3 years on, we've got some members that are new members, and we've got members that, attend quite regularly. So we did 16 portraits that are now up in the Everyman, and they are to celebrate Pride and Joy.
Yours is stunning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sorry, me and Ian always get into it because I, again, critical.
Well, you're a good-looking woman, Cherise. I know you hate photos of you, but I've never seen a bad one yet.
Oh, it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's an acting thing, an actress thing, or a performance thing. I don't know. We're just never content with just certain things. I'm sure singers are the same. That's the only thing that I don't do or wish I did. Anyway, so that is on till the end of October, and that's part of Black History Month celebrations. We got a pot of funding from Culture Liverpool. Thank you very much. Obviously, LIPA again have sponsored that, so that's great. So thank you, LIPA. And then we also got some sponsorship as well from the Everyman Theatre. So thank you to all three of them.
Real community effort to get it on its feet.
But what we've been able to do is absolutely massive, because what we also did is, as well as having the exhibition, and I keep saying this, we expected maybe 10 or 20 people. We now know that over 200 people turned up for the exhibition. For
the launch event,
with the panel
discussion.
So that it was actually 2 events.
Yeah.
So we had the Black Actors Collective exhibition that's upstairs in the Everyman, and then what we did is we had a Black Stage Pass, which is my new business, downstairs, and that's with the fabulous Brodie Arthur. So that was downstairs, and that was a panel and spoken word, and on the panel was myself, Paisley Reid, my other business partner, Leon Lopez. We have Parliament Street Productions.
I'm exhausted just listening to.
I get exhausted.
Oh my goodness! So, what does Black Stage Pass? What's the mission there?
So, Black Stage Pass, it's actually an app that we're building, and it's global, and it is for Black and global majority creatives around the world. So it's not just actors, it's actors, musicians, singers. We'll probably be even looking at behind the scenes as well. And it really is about connecting people. So it will be a mixture of Spotlight and LinkedIn. So it's a place where anyone that's from them backgrounds can come to, and there'll be different tiers, because there'll be things that people can get for free, and there'll be things that people either sign up for or subscription. We're going to have different ways of doing it, so everybody gets a bite of the pie, so to speak. It's set up now, so if you want to follow it on Instagram, that would be great. So Black Stage Pass app, you can follow it if you want right now. And we had some amazing performers. We had an amazing singer called Paisley B. She was just phenomenal. Another guy called Craig Copland, I think it is. Another guy came from London. He was amazing as well. Called Too Badder. He was absolutely phenomenal, to be fair, because his lyrics are quite conscious what he sings about, and I know he works with a lot of young people in London and stuff like that. We had somebody from Birmingham as well. But I think what we were able to create really was to celebrate our culture, because we also had shout out to Fidane and Ragga's food. We weren't expecting the amount of people we got, but the queue was out the door and back up the stairs for the fabulous food from Ragga's. So thank you for that, Fidane. And thanks to a friend of mine, Joy, for jumping behind and helping him serve the food as well.
Get the queue moving.
We really did manage to create just a lovely evening of expression, of, you know, people getting to see some of the actors that are in the Black Actors Collective, and then people being able to just celebrate it with part of the spoken word from Black Stage Pass app, and just all come together and share nice food and just connect and network. I mean, I tend to put events together, and as you know, Siobhán, a lot of other things come out of the events that I come together that I don't anticipate. But that is the good thing about bringing people together, is you never know what's going to come out of that.
You retain information about different people. I've seen you do this before, and you go, well, I'm going to put you in touch with that person because you could help each other out, you know. And I love that about you.
It's just something that I do naturally. I can be in a space or a room and I just know instantly there's this person, oh, that person needs to meet that person, they need to talk. They could definitely work together. They could, you know, it's almost like sparks are flying, like, you know, and it's just the way my brain kind of works. It's funny, I was in a cab yesterday, and it was, I'm just going to say this, it was a lovely taxi. In fact, it reminded me of when I was filming and I'd get picked up in, you know, them blacked out.
Well, I haven't had the privilege.
No, so I ended up taking his car because I said with the work and the things that I'm doing, I probably will need to use your services and stuff. But it just put me in mind of all of the great things that I've had the opportunity to be a part of and stuff like that. But it's nice to give them opportunities to other people, you know, and that's how I feel when I'm in a room with people that I know are skilled and talented in different ways. And I just think, yeah, I need to link this person with that person. And, you know, and it is just a natural thing. But now what's nice is that through the businesses that I'm creating, it's going to be a lot more and a lot bigger. It's not just about putting people together in a room. It's about putting people together on a stage. It's about giving people them paid opportunities. It's about people being seen and being heard, because I really know what it's like as an actress, as a performer, as a community member. I don't really call myself an academic, but I will say this, to be looked over, because I applied for university 3 times before I got in. And this is a story that I used to tell when I was working at University of Liverpool as part of, I was the community lead, so I'd do a lot of events around the city in places like the Hive, Toxteth, Firefit Hub, the Lighthouse, and it was really about encouraging people really to think about doing, you know, going into education if they hadn't before, from the perspective of a single parent, somebody who has been in the art but knew that, you know, it's great being on TV and having all these great things, but what if that doesn't continue? Because it's a very precarious career to be in. Yeah. So I knew that after I'd done Liverpool 1, and I did get a big agent up in London and all that stuff, but I had my son at the time and he was like 5, 6. And I thought I need some stability, so university really was the next stop for me. So as I say, I'd applied 3 times, didn't get in. I won't mention what unis, but I did end up going to Hope University and doing their creative and performing arts course, which I absolutely loved. And then went backwards because my dance teacher, Sue Lancaster, who I'd danced with at the Blackie with her and Steve Mulrooney when I was 16, they came in, Sue came in, sorry, and she was like, you need to come in this dance class. So I went and started studying dance in my second year in university, and I hadn't really dance for about 10 years. So
Oh, wow.
that was kind of, and I absolutely loved it. And I ended up majoring in dance and
And it all came flooding back after the gap, muscle memory.
Yeah, it kind of did. I was still young enough for that to happen. So, yeah, and it was, Sue really as well. I mean, there's been some people who have been mentors and teachers, and Sue Mulrooney, well, Sue Lancaster actually, Anna Maloney, and Charles Bartholomew have all been 3 people in my life that have really motivated me to pursue my career, have really believed in me. And they've all instilled this thing about sharing in me, each and every one of them, because they all share everything they have to give. And I think I've taken a little bit from each of them because I've watched how they've worked with people and what they've been able to give to motivate people. And I've definitely got some of that in me. And they're just all, I think there's another teacher as well, I'll never forget this, Bernard. He's a black dance teacher, amazing. In fact, Bernard, I will be getting in touch with you soon. And he came to Scopa, Greenbank, when I was there, and I remember looking through the window and watching the first black male dance teacher that I'd ever seen. I thought, I've got to do something with him. And I did end up joining a course that he was doing over at the Everyman. And I think we did a performance at the Unity, but it was like just seeing a celebrity. It was like, it was like seeing someone, I don't know, Beyonce or Prince for me, or Madonna. Because you just get a feeling when you see someone that carries, I will say, greatness, that you think, I've got to work with this person, I've got to do something with them. I don't know what it's going to be, but they are carrying something that I want just a little piece of,
Tap into that.
a little something. And I feel like all of the teachers and the mentors that have been around me have all given me a little piece of that. And I hope that the people that I work with and continue to work with, I'm able to give that to as well. But yeah, what a journey, honestly. I just think being in the creative world, you just never know what you're going to do. You never know what each day is going to be.
How do you think, because you mentioned, I can't believe it took 3 applications to get into university, and you clearly got the stripes because you've completed undergraduate, then you've gone on and done master's level training. Has it changed though? Do you think that it's easier for people who would be in your situation, trying to manage family, coming at it maybe second pass time around?
So this is like when I used to tell the story, that's the crazy thing, is that I got knocked back 3 times, but then I ended up going to university 3 times. And it's something now I look back on and I think I must be one of them people that thrives in, in learning and finding out new things and things like that. I never really classed myself as an academic, even though I've done an MA. I don't think I speak like an academic at all. And kudos to them that do. Leona Vaughan, just putting that out there. She was on the panel as well for Black Stage Pass. Thank you. And that's the other thing, is I try not to forget people. I'm always trying to say thank you to people when people do get involved or do great work. But to answer your question, Siobhán, what I will say is part of the work that I'm doing is, again, to alleviate that, because the trauma that I experienced when I first applied for a university, because I had the next 3 years of my life then set out, and it wasn't good, because then I had to pick up the pieces and find another way to carry on, to keep going, whatever it, because you can, I think people have their own dreams and aspirations and things that they want to do in life. And if you've kind of set yourself up to think, I'm doing this thing, and then you get a letter to say, we're really sorry, we forgot to tell you from a big institution that either you're on the reserve list or you didn't get in, or, whatever it is, we forgot to send you the letter. It just crushes you. And so you can imagine as well, and, because you're in the world of creativity, as an actor, you are constantly building resilience because you're constantly putting yourself up for the firing line to get rejected. So there's something in that. There's something in being rejected. But I think when you get rejected in a way that it's not It's not, you haven't set yourself up for an audition where you know, well, I'm up against hundreds of people, whatever. No, I'm now going in a different kind of area and I'm being rejected there, you know. So I think it's made me a lot stronger in the way I deal with things, but I think at the time it was quite crushing.
Yeah.
Also because a lot of things that I was doing was for my son to see that.
I think something about having kids raises stakes in everything you do in life.
Definitely. But now what I see, so my daughter's just gone off to Manchester University to do politics. So
if people are listening to this and not watching on the YouTube, if they're listening, Cherise's face is just lit up with pride at your youngest going away to university.
Yeah, and then my son is a performer by definition because his dad is also a performer and an artist and everything, you know. And I will give you a shout out. So his dad is Curtis Watt, so he's a visual artist as well as, you know, he plays the drums. He's well known throughout the community and stuff like that. So our son kind of got everything from both of us. And he actually performed here at LIPA when I came to do the tour because I got a couple of different people to come and perform as well. Because that's what. So one thing that I tend to do is with whatever platform I'm given. And you do know this, Siobhán. I tend to, and again, it's just a natural thing, I tend to share it because I don't want or need the whole spotlight on me. I'd rather have other people to share that spotlight with because it makes it more valuable. It makes it more, you know, more worthy because you're getting a balance of lots of other things happening.
You're a people person, so that's going to be what motivates you, is to share the stage with people who you respect. I used to do, like, I've done a little bit of stand-up in the past, but then I joined a improv comedy group and I just enjoyed it so much more because you share your successes with other people.
Yeah.
And because nothing's ever the same, because it's a different show every night, but you buzz when you work with other people and you bring something from conception through the development stage and then you put it out there and it's received by people. It's like
this is how we feel about the exhibition and about the spoken word night as well. I think for me, when I started doing business courses, because that was my other thing as well as going back into education, is if I wasn't working as an actress or whatever other work I could find, or I wasn't studying, I'd be doing a business course. I've always been doing something, and business seemed to be the other thing that kind of happened, again, happenstance. So when I did my MA, I then naturally fell into setting up my own production company called Creative Colours. And I was obsessed with the name, and people were saying, no, it sounds like a paint thing, or it sounds like, you know. But I went for Creative Colours because I wanted it to be global. I wanted it to be everyone. It was about being all inclusive. So, and what's funny is that I'd been naturally doing the job that I do now, just through the work that I do. But what I found when I set that company up was I did all of the groundwork. I had all of the ideas, but I could not do it on my own. Hence, fast forward to now, I have 3 different organisations with 3 different partners for very different reasons, but actually they're all creative. They all overlap, they all cross over, they all interlink in some way. And what's great is I've been able to bring all of them people together if they haven't already had some, you know, something where they've crossed over, but in a creative and a business way.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's been, I think, I've earned my stripes for sure. And I think when we sat on that panel and I had the 3 business partners there, I didn't really want to or need to speak because I thought, well, the work already speaks for itself. We have an exhibition upstairs. We've got this going downstairs. Do I really need to say anything on the back of what my 3 business partners are going to say? So I didn't really say much because I just, for me, it is about the work speaking for itself. It's not about me having to prove something, or do you know what I mean? Because it's there, it's being created, it's, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is, and I say this as well, and I said this on the panel. a lot of the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing is because I want to be the person that chooses who I'm working with and who works with me. I want to work with people that I'm happy to spend time and space with, and vice versa. And I think it makes a difference to the work that you create as well, because there's a mutual respect there, you know, for them as a person, for them in their artistry and who they are and what they bring. Because not everyone is going to have every skill, and that's always good to know, is what your weak spots, what your blind spots, what your strong points, what your, do you know what I mean? And to work with people that you know that have some of the things that you may not have in your, you know, kit bag. But yeah, it's all fun, it's all great, but yeah, it can be also, I will say this, one of the things I do want to build in is a thing around well-being. Because as well as people being seen and heard, I want people to feel held as well. And again, that comes from my own experience and working as a freelancer for many years and feeling very isolated. I want people to have a place where they feel that their well-being is being thought about and is being considered, and they can find different ways and activities to chill out, to whatever it is, whether it's painting, whether it's yoga, whether it's a sound bath, whether it's a retreat, whatever that may be. That is something that I'm really thinking about very seriously, about building into all of the businesses.
I think that's because we are people who invest and do what we love. We invest emotionally in the work that we do. And it feels almost like you're in a relationship with your work.
Yes.
And you like it to support you as much as you invest in it. And I think that affects all of your businesses. I feel very emotional about the work that I do at LIPA, very passionate about it. And you kind of then want to ask for that give and take in terms of well-being, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think what you've just said is it adds value to the business, but also to the people, because they are seen and they're considered. And if they feel that they're having a bad day or whatever it is, then they feel like they can actually share that. They, you know, everyone at times has to put on a brave face for one reason or another, because you never, and I always say this, you never know what's going on in people's lives behind closed doors. People reveal what they want to reveal. And some people aren't forthcoming with, you know, but you just never know. And it is, you know, I think being in the creative world, it's so precarious anyway. There's so many different things, I think around trauma as well. And especially because I'm dealing with people from my culture. So I understand as a woman of colour what some of the traumas are that I know from, you know, whether it's my own or it's ancestral or it's historical, whatever that may be. And it's about knowing, and the people that I'm working with knowing that I see that and I recognise that. And if there's something that we can do to make sure that them things are in place. There's a company that I work with, and I know a lot of big organisations will have counselling and different things, but it's different to making it a bit more where it's part of the business, it's part of the everyday, is that people know that their well-being is being considered throughout.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about that now rather than later, because I think that's something that needs to be embedded now. Just want to say another shout out to my other business partner, Leon Lopez, for
friend of the podcast.
Of course. So we set up Parliamentary Productions, and Leon was on Brookside. He's worked on EastEnders, Coronation Street, Brassic. You know, he's working on some of the major shows at the minute.
He spends this is a job I'm jealous of. Guadeloupe. Doing Death in Paradise.
Yeah, the funny thing about that is, because I was speaking to him quite often while he was there, it wasn't as glamorous as you might think. Where he stayed was lovely, but the job itself, and that's the thing when you are in this industry, is that as glamorous as it looks, it's the work that goes into it, and people only see the end product.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes what goes on behind the scenes isn't all the glitz and the glamour, you know that.
I'd be happy with a bit of sun sometimes.
Well,
no, it's a nice day to day, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is a beautiful place, but I think it's what goes on behind the scenes isn't always what's what people get to see and stuff like that. But yeah, the journey continues.
I'm going to have one last question for you. Because I know it was me who pushed you to do this, and let's find out about Cherise. But is there anything that you would like people to know about you that you don't think is out there in the public realm at the moment?
Anything that people don't know about me? I don't know.
That's okay. Well, maybe we'll give them an opportunity to find out. Cherise, if people want to reach out to you, where can they get hold of you?
So, obviously, I am here at LIPA.
You are.
So, if it is work related, it would be c.weaver at lipa.ac.uk. Please don't inundate me. I do have an Instagram page as well, which is Sheza33. Please keep it clean, don't swear, or what does it say, bugger? What did they used to say?
I can't believe you said that, then you dropped a B-bomb.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I don't know. Anyway, we can cut that. We can edit that. I mean... Yeah, I'm there. I'm in the public domain. But yeah, I'm on Instagram, and that's my work email if it's work related and stuff like that. Please follow Black Stage Pass. Also follow the Black Actors Collective. If you want to know more about either of them, follow them. DM us, send us messages. Someone will pick that up.
We'll get all these links into show notes as well when the podcast goes out.
So I can't think of nothing, though, that people don't know. I think I've said it all just then.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, I can't,
I would like to thank the Come Together podcast for inviting me to guest host. I would like to thank the pod squad, who is Abby Marriott and Paul Adams, who've been doing our sound today. And I would like to thank Brian Roberts, who's recorded it for our YouTube presentation, and our marketing department, who are Rob, Cara and Ollie. That's it from me from now, and for the lovely Cherise, who will be back in her chair where she is much happier.